So hello, we're just over to Sweden to pick up an engine. I bought a wonderful Alfa Romeo engine, a North engine, I forget the number. Anyway, it's a 2-liter, it's a wonderful engine, just gonna pick it up. So let's start the video. So I'm in Germany on my way to Puttgarden. And Puttgarden is where the ferry leaves to go to Denmark. I'll show you the map. So that's Puttgarden, and then you take the ferry, get over to Denmark, and then continue, or I will continue to Copenhagen. And Copenhagen cross into Sweden, and then I intend to continue to Malmö and to Ystad. And Ystad is in the south, so it's not too far from the bridge over to Denmark, over to Sweden, the bridge over to Sweden, and it's right there, and that is where I'll be meeting. I'll zoom out to show you the entire Sweden. It's a big country. Oops, work with me. So that's Sweden here, and we have Norway on the other side. We have Finland here, and then we have, of course, we have Russia. I'm here with a little blue dotties. Closing in on the ferry. I have to be there at, I think, 3 o'clock. At 3:15, the ferry goes over to Denmark. Bought myself an Alfa Romeo engine. It's a North engine, or the double overhead camshaft engine. I believe it's from the 70s. It was on Marketplace. I didn't offer. I offered the guy half of what he was asking. I offered him half because I don't want to pay more for an old engine. I like the engines. I might have use for the engine in the future, but I just love that old type of engine. When I was young, you could get them anywhere for, you know, 100 euros. What is that? $100. They were all in the junkyards. They were in so many Alfa Romeos, and the Alfa Romeos rusted away. So a lot of these engines were very cheap to pick up. Now they're expensive. I really liked one, so I found one in Sweden. Couldn't find it in the Netherlands. In the Netherlands, it would have been 3 times expensive, and then it would have been without carburetors. And this one is with the Lorto carburetors, 2 double ones. So effectively it's 4 carburetors, but 2 carburetors they join and they make use of one flow chamber. So I'm picking it up. I've been starting this morning early from Amsterdam and going there straight to him, to Kalle. Apparently he has a lot of home-built cars. I hope I can see some of his cars. I'll pick the engine up, and I don't know if I'm going to take a hotel or if I'm going to head straight on back to the ferry in Denmark, because I would like to be back. Tomorrow is Friday. I like to be back home tomorrow late afternoon, because my daughter is coming and we're going to work on the Volkswagen. So that's what I'm doing these 2 days. As far as I can see, they should be there at 2:45. So that's perfect. Okay, we can go 300 if you can, but since I'm driving my little electrical car, we're not gonna do 300. We're staying at a very nice and economically 106. I can make it because I still have a charge. I think I have another, yeah, I have 65%, which should take me 250 kilometers. So well into Denmark and hopefully even into Sweden. We shall see how it goes.
Raucherbereich erlaubt. Bei Fragen wenden Sie sich bitte an unser Service.
So the good thing is I am charging. The bad thing is there is more and more snow falling. But okay, we are at the charger. I should not complain. It's a fast charger, but it's coming down heavy snow. I think I won't make my appointment, so I'm gonna call him and tell him it's gonna be a little bit later. So TomTom got me going and kept me going, and I saw that around me on the highway and other roads that there was a lot of blockage. You could see on the map that they were all red, but he just kept me on these tiny roads, and there had been cars before me, so I knew that this was all fine. And then again, you have to trust in your navigation or don't use it, I guess. But indeed, it took quite some time to drive these roads instead of driving 120 kilometers an hour on the highway. So, but it took a lot more time, of course, using these roads. So I could see my the time of arrival moving further back from 7 or 6, 7 to 8 or 9. But there was no other option, and I called Kalle, and he was fine in me arriving a little bit later. Okay, well, that's a small issue. Man, this is not something you want on your head. Be just a little over an hour before we are there. We're getting there. We're still moving, or I should should say we're moving again. Right, it's somewhat difficult, but that's the bridge. Those are the pylons in the middle of the screen. So I finally arrived at Kalle's workshop. It was about 9 o'clock when I got there, and we dove right into his his workshop on the upper floor, where he had this beautiful replica of an Auto Union 1930s race car,
very nice as well.
and he built it with a V12
Original to the
BMW
year.
engine from an 850. So he did everything himself.
Yeah.
The linkage, he
yeah, the
used
shifter
old
you
brakes
have
from a
on the
Fiat
right.
1200.
And then it goes with a whole linkage. It goes all
He
the way.
loved those aluminum brake discs, brake drums. And in the back, he had the CVs from an old Audi he used. He used a lot of stuff. He also changed the car. As you can see here, it has distributors. So he changed it from an electronic injection and fuel injection to
With cables
a carburetor setup. He'd taken it apart now because he wanted it to make it a little bit different. But he'd been using this
Do I
car for
recognize
15
these
years.
CV
And
joints? Is that
says he puts out about 300 horsepower. I think that's easily with this engine. But it was too powerful for him now. Kalle has turned 80, and all of those, as you can see behind, are all projects he's still working on. And he has a lot of plans and projects still to come. So he's an amazing guy to meet with all of his toys and tools and a supply of materials that he's been collecting all of his years. And he's always been building cars, changing cars, racing cars. So it was I spent a lot of time just looking around, asking him how he did things, how he manufactured things, where he found certain things. But I guess if you're 80 and you have so many plans and so many projects that you still want to finish, you will keep on going, and that's exactly what he will do. So it's great. It's great visiting him. Here in the front, he has from a Volkswagen, a Beetle. He's copied the same setup in terms of the spring system. It's a torsion bars are in there, and he got these beautiful spoke wheels. And the nose of the car is actually cloth on a wooden frame, and then the nose itself is aluminum. He hammered that, and the car next to that Auto Union is a Fiat 600 that he's working on. He says these four will be his life's work. So the accumulation of everything he did, all the cars he built a lot of 600 Abarths, but this one he wants to make for himself. So he's done all these flares, and he put Maserati wheels underneath, and he wants to make this one fast for the it's a very small and light car, but he's put a tiny 1000cc engine in the back. It's a Fiat little engine, and he's put a turbo on, a turbo from the B-turbo Maseratis. So it's a small turbo, and he is guessing he will get about 100 horsepower from this engine. So it will be a fairly fast car, and he's gotten quite a bit ahead, but he has a lot of work yet to do. So I'm quite surprised with all of his projects and the way that he said hello when I came to the house, I felt like he was saying goodbye to all of his cars and stuff, because he was just getting too old and he couldn't work in his garage any longer. But nothing would be farther from the truth. He is full of energy and is not about to stop working on cars. So this is a nice little Austin that we saw. It's an A30. Downstairs he has an A35, and this A30, and this is again is where the Swedes have, I guess, their laws on what you can fix and what you can get on the road in Sweden legally are very different than they are in I guess Germany, France, and the Netherlands. This car has a V8, and the whole drivetrain is from a Chevrolet, and even the chassis is cut up and is put under this tiny little A30 body.
You have to pull it out.
And it's illegal,
I see.
so you can drive this thing on the road. I'm sure it's not going to handle very well. Push it back in. It's more made for dragster racing, so it will go very fast in a straight line, and that's about it. And then he has his little Porsche here. It's an interesting one in the fact that it feels very thin when you tap it, but it's a plastic model, and he's building a 1600 Volkswagen engine to go in the back of this one that looks like a Porsche engine. Kind of strange because it doesn't have 6 cylinders, but anyway. And then he has this P444, or the one before, Volvo, that he's been chopping and changing and shortening, and this will be his nice car to be going to driving with his wife. And here as well, he's not sure yet what he'll put in the front. He was thinking of a straight inline 6 cylinder, but now he's thinking he's got a big V8 in his basement, that he might put the V8 in there. So he shows me here that he's put a Volvo steering wheel, but it's put together from parts of a Chevrolet system, so you can tilt the steering wheel. And he has to cover it still, but he's doing a lot. He's not just changing stuff. He's actually cobbling up a lot of different cars, putting them in one car. But I guess, yeah, if you're in Sweden and this is allowed, and then you get this car registered, absolutely, go for it. So he painted it himself. I guess we're looking back at the Porsche. I thought that filler cap was kind of strange, but he said the first ones had that, and then it was illegal in the US because of spillage of fuel. We then went downstairs to look at his other projects, and the atmosphere is just wonderful. There's so much stuff everywhere that he plays with. A couple of those, and in the back you see a T Ford, which he has now fitted with the V8, and he wants to put that engine in the Volvo. So there's the other Barchetta, the Fiat, that's in a pretty good nick. And those are driven, or one of them is driven by his wife. So there's the T Ford. He doesn't want that. He's going to sell that. It's not complete. I think it's mainly the body. He doesn't have the frame. And there's the original Volvo engine, the inline 6, the red one, that he will not use. It's a cast iron motor, so it's very, very heavy. Well, and then again, so is the V8 that's behind in the T Ford. Anyway, Kalle has so many projects everywhere. So downstairs I think there are another 7 cars in bits and pieces or fully restored. And he's building another thing that he got back from a friend who died, but he sold it to the friend, and now he's picking it up again. He bought it back from the family because, again, he has other plans with it.
What frame is this?
This is the new project. This is the little 500 chassis. Well, then this is 11. Just this engine is a Simca. But Fiat and Simca were the same engines in the beginning.
Where?
Here is a car I built. It's the chassis from a
Topolino.
Topolino.
Yeah.
The front suspension is from a 30s Fiat 1100.
How
So
does
you
that
have
work?
spring and damper in here.
In one.
So it's really nice. You
How
can see it
ingenious.
all.
Yeah.
And you
I've
see
never
a
seen that.
Nice alloy
Beautiful.
again.
Yeah. And these are hydraulic.
Yeah.
I'm just panning around his basement here. Yeah, that's the Ford T4. There's a Barchetta. There's a Simca in the back. There's a little Austin 35, and another Barchetta. It is so beautiful, and it is moving. You didn't have it. It's not frozen.
Yeah, that was the first thing I went and checked.
Yeah.
So this was a spare engine. But he couldn't guarantee anything, but he said,
No.
I bought it as just to throw it in the car engine.
Yeah. And he sold his engine, his car then. His car is gone.
Yeah.
He doesn't have it anymore.
Yeah, so he had this one standing in his garage 5 years after.
Yeah, that's what
And
happens.
then I took it over because I was thinking of using a Alfa Romeo engine, but then I thought, no, why should I use that?
Yeah.
It's better to use a Fiat or something. Oh, I love the Fiat engines. I have a steel band inside.
Oh, there's a steel band inside, of course. Yeah. So this is just for the weight reduction and the temperature.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Here you have the other Volvo engine.
Oh yeah, you
You
see.
see, this is 2-cylinder less.
Yeah,
Otherwise,
yeah.
they are the same.
Exactly. So they use the same molds. They just make them shorter.
But this one is that one came first, and they are incredibly strong.
I know this clip is a bit long, but there was so much to talk about and so much to see that he has on his shelves, and all the engine parts and all the different cars that he's working on, and all the ideas and the experience that he has. That I just stayed on and talked and asked him so many things. It's great to learn from someone who's again 20 years older than I am and has all this experience and is still working with cars, building them, starting up new projects, finishing old ones, as I really hope that he can and he will. Yes. It would be wonderful if that would be possible. Well, I see you have everything under control, Kalle.
So,
Yeah, you're almost
now a little bit.
a little bit more. Yeah, a little bit more. So whilst Kalle was looking for a number, I think it was 27, to drain the oil plug, I did some footage of the basement, which is also full of engines, molds to make parts for cars, a lot of tools, and this wonderful little A35 and this blue Simca around, and he's trickle charging it. So that one he uses during the summer. It's a very original car. Of course, engines galore. Volvo, the red. A lot of starter engines. I should have gotten one. There wasn't one on the Alfa and I forgot. So I left Kalle at about 11 o'clock to get some food and some power for the car to get my drive back home. So here we are again. This is a 300 kilowatt charger, so this should be quick. It's 2:30 at night, and I'd like to be on the boat in a few hours. There are some Tesla chargers over there, and there are more chargers over there, whole row. And there are even more chargers over there. A whole station. And there at least you have a roof over your head. Back we go. So, well, there is the engine. Now, how to get it out again.